This man has never knocked nobody out cold. He's a bully. He's slow. He has no skill, no footwork. He's awkward. And I have been giving him a name. Because he fights. When he's fighting, if you ever watch him in the ring, he drags like that after his opponent. and how's the mummy gonna catch me?
And all I had to do was to go out and beat for a man who had no skill, no class. Seriously, the man had no skill. I don't know why the world is so foolish to believe in him and think that I wasn't going to win.
Well, when you say you're ready to go to war right now...
I see that guy on the street, I beat him before the fight.
You'd actually take him on before the fight?
Beat him like I'm his daddy.
Basketball players out there, football players, they want to beat so bad, they want to get everybody. I'll go to Mars, I don't care.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble!
What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Lights Out Debates, where we dare you to debate. And happy Saturday. Okay, we got a good one here for you today. As you see, it's going to be another of our greater than series debates, right? So again, I have going to be myself and Dart, and we have today 1995 Hakeem Olajuwon versus 1977 Bill Walton, who had the greater playoff run. And obviously, as you saw last week, we're going to break down the statistics, competition, everything that goes into a playoff run that we feel is valuable to getting the decision, getting that W. Okay. So right now we have going to chop it up for a minute until we have hopefully one of our other judges show up. But for now we have King's Pizza Row. And how you doing today, Ro?
Doing quite well. Little bummed out about my Knicks losing last night, but they were undermanned, severely undermanned. No big men out there, so they were just kind of playing bully ball against us. But we fought, but other than that, man, I'm chilling. I'm doing good.
Yeah, no, showed heart for sure. And obviously we have Dart. Dart, how's it going, man? And how do you just briefly? Why do you think you have the edge today with Walton?
Oh, I'm doing great. I just had a bunch of fish. I see you as a whale. I'm gonna come and attack. If you can't tell by my avatar, call me Shamu of debates. But anyway. No, I think that Bill Walton's 1977 playoff run is vastly underappreciated. There's so many firsts. There's so many what ifs surrounding the career of Bill Walton outside of it. And outside of that, just the team success, what they did as a team, what Bill Walton did individually. Hakeem did a lot of great things, but I think I'm going to take the win here and at least educate a bunch of people on the fantastical efforts of Bill Walton and the Trailblazers in 1977. How about you? What do you think is going to put you over the edge today?
Hey, well, kind of a lot what you said. I feel like Hakeem, I don't know if it's an underrated but I feel like it certainly has its place enshrined in history. And hey, you know what? I think the bottom line is we haven't really seen an individual effort like that. If you're just talking, the odds, the competition, and the overall individual excellence and performance, really ever. And I know that I was talking about Kobe last week, but I think that when I put all that together, it's gonna, and I highlight that, it's gonna hopefully put me over the top. But we'll see what our esteemed judges say. We got Ro here, and Ro, what is just so we can plug in everyone here, plug in your channel real fast here, just to get the folks off on the right start.
Yeah, so hey, my channel is at King Speech Row. I do my show, 10 Toes Down podcast, where as we go through a variety of different topics, we take an angle, we try to talk about things at a basically a deeper level, like deeper than surface level. One thing I've been saying about the Lakers this year, how bad. And I know they won last night. They got carried to another victory last night with a lot of free throws, I heard. But it's one of the things I've been kind of going in about from the off season, right? As you know, I went on my show. I went and I previewed every division round by round. I took every team, and it looks like most of the teams are on schedule. A couple of teams like those Clippers, they're coming on lately. So I wasn't wrong about the Clippers yet. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we do a variety of subjects. We talk about the current league. We talk about historical things, and we just try to keep it in a good perspective. Look out on the channel. We're gonna be trying to do some other things. I'm gonna try to see if my man JB wants to get his little 30-minute shows where he can go on about his Lakers and things like that. Whatever. I want people to really kind of speak their mind, and I try to keep my show as interactive as possible. I invite people up early to come speak. And we have fun. We're gonna do some great things in 2026.
Awesome. Well, we were supposed to have like another judge over here, guys, but I mean, what I could say is I'm not showing them online, but I could run it by you, Dart. If you were down, or if there were not any objections, I mean, right now, I mean, just so we can hold on one second. Just so we don't have to have maybe like a huge wait time, I'd be down to maybe just have a one judge decision at this point, or maybe him.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah, okay. I mean, I agree. I don't think we should wait any longer
because I gave him ample notice and everything. So whatever. It's the people must be entertained. So yeah, looks like the burden's going to be on you solo this time, bro, unless he shows up in a second, but. Did we agree, Ro, that are you first this time, or was it me?
Oh, yeah, it was going to be me the way we discussed it.
Okay.
Because you went first last time.
Awesome. So yeah, we can do that, and I see you have the clock there, so whenever you want to do it.
All right, I will. Ro, I'm going to put you backstage, and I'm going to start the timer, and then I will get it on.
Okay.
Three, two, one.
Thank you for having me. First, Bill Walton's 1977 playoff run was greater than Hakeem's 1995 run. Greatness is defined as ability, quality, or eminence considerably above normal average. I'm going to talk about how Bill Walton was all of these in basketball compared to Hakeem. Some more convictive evidence of having a greater playoff run due to his dominance, which means to be commanding, controlling, and prevailing over all others. First, Bill Walton's individual playoff run is more eminent than Hakeem Olajuwon's. Eminence meaning a position of prominence or superiority. Applies to his unique performances, players he defeated, and story leading up to the playoffs. First, Bill Walton was injured for the first 2 years of his career. 1977 was really his first uninjured career year that he played in. It was the first season that the Trailblazers were ever in the playoffs, and where they also won their first and only championship. Walton was the team leader for that. He defeated his contemporaries in Artis Gilmore, who was an ABA champion, ABA MVP, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who was an MVP that year and a champion with the 71 Bucks. He defeated George McGinnis, and amongst others, two of which at this point were prior MVPs and champions, as I was stating. Hakeem played against none at that point, unless you want to consider a 20-year veteran in Moses Malone, and then also Horace Grant. Additional all-time players that Bill Walton played against were Norm Van Leer, defensive presence Dan Issel, multi-time All-Star, Bobby Jones, massive defensive presence Don Chaney, Dr. J, and Doug Collins. It was the youngest NBA team of all time to win a championship, and that is a record to this day with an average age of 24 years old. They were 10-0 in home games during this run. And this is all besides Bill Walton's ability and build up to this playoff run and his quality contribution to his teams. And I'm going to talk about that in my next following runs with his team success more specifically, and then also his stats. And it's one of the greatest playoff runs ever because of the what if surrounding Bill Walton and his career. So this is a hindsight thing because this and his 1986 season, where he won a championship in both of them, were his two only healthy seasons where he was able to go through the playoffs through the whole thing. Because in the next year, in 1978, he ended up winning MVP but getting injured. And at that time, he had a 50-10 record before he got injured in 1978. And in total, he was injured 9.5 full seasons of his career. So this is why that the eminence, Bill.
3, 2, 1.
All right, guys. So again, without fail, like we're gonna cut it down a little here, but we're gonna go with Hakeem Olajuwon 1995 over Bill Walton in 1977 for a variety of reasons. And I'm glad that my opponent actually mentioned their head-to-head competition because that's actually one of the reasons why it's not close and in favor of Hakeem Olajuwon easily. Not only because of the name value and the defensive excellence of his competition, but also because of how one elevated versus a competition and one did not. Okay. Now, this isn't about nostalgia or era bias. It's about competition level, statistical elevation, team context, and most of all, individual responsibility. Walton had a deep, balanced roster with multiple double-digit scorers. Hakeem had streaker role players, an aging co-star who was basically traded midseason. No other 15-point per game scorer during the playoffs. Walton could afford to be third or even fourth scoring option in certain playoff games and entire series. Okay, Hakeem had to be first, second, third option every single night. Okay, while Walton maintained his regular season level, Hakeem, in many aspects, Hakeem raised his scoring, his efficiency, his usage, and his defensive prowess, all while facing a playoff gauntlet of MVPs, all NBA first team players, and 50-win teams. Okay, so we'll break that down. We'll go through it all, and we'll do it in a way that really paints a picture that you already know, honestly. So really, let's talk about the competition gauntlet, and we'll just do a service level evaluation. Then we'll deep dive in the later rounds, okay? Hakeem's run began with Karl Malone and John Stockton, one of the greatest, and this is in their absolute prime, okay? One of the greatest duos in NBA history. Malone was averaging 27 points a game. Stockton was leading the league in assists for the 9th straight year. Utah had one of the most efficient offenses in basketball. Hakeem had to also guard Karl Malone for huge stretches of that game. Hakeem dropped 35 points on 56% shooting, okay? Charles Barkley and the Suns were next. Barkley was still elite, 23-11. Okay, they just had a fantastic season. They were up 2-0. Hakeem brought them back. We'll go into that. Multiple 40-point games. David Robinson, the actual league MVP at that time. Okay, Robinson averaged 27 points a game on 51% shooting during the regular season. Against Hakeem, he got held down to 29 or down to well below his regular season averages. There was shooting nights of 29%, 35, 37%. Hakeem outplayed him and, again, held him down. Hakeem dropped 35, 12, and 5 with 4 blocks on the league MVP and former DPOY in his absolute prime as well. Then you had Shaq Penny. So we go through all of this, right? All of this already is far greater competition, okay, than Bill Walton had. The only comparable guy Bill Walton had at that center position, the names I just mentioned, was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, okay, the actual reigning MVP at that time, but he wildly outplayed Bill Walton. Scored him by 11 more points, shot over 60% shooting.
All right, so Artis Gilmore, former MVP and champion. You talked about Kareem. George McGinnis, also fantastic. Dan Issel. They don't compare. I think that's sensationalism. And there is close competition because this year was the first year of the ABA merger where they had an ABA draft to put the rest of the guys into the league. Arguably the most potent year of all time in the NBA. He didn't have to elevate his play individually as that because he was a team player. He was a leader. He was a defender first, like Bill Russell. He did outlet passes. I'm going to get more into that specifically. Now, Walton had 6 double-digit scorers on his team, and Hakeem had 5, so that's not a major difference. And one of the big things why that team was so great and they were so team-centric is that Walton had 7 new players on that team that year and a new coach, and the Rockets more or less had the same core players that they had the year before when they won the championship. But Walton was a better quality player and had a better quality run than Hakeem during this. Quality is the degree to which an object or entity satisfies a specific set of attributes or requirements. So first, the 77 Trailblazers had 2 more wins going into the playoffs versus the 95 Rockets. And they also got Clyde Drexler this year to add on. They traded Otis Thorpe for him, who Clyde Drexler, multiple MVP candidate, All-NBA recipient, and All-Star, widely considered the closest thing to Michael Jordan at the time. And like you said, he had 6 players in double digits, and that showed how great of a team player that he was in comparison to Hakeem. He didn't have to score as much because everyone else was scoring a ton. And he also was passing a ton. And I'm going to get more into specifics on that in the next round. Walton also played against similarly great teams, and they're in comparison to the net ratings. So, and that's the difference of how great they were against their contemporaries. So they both played around the 4th on average greatest teams at that time during their playoffs runs going into the playoffs. Most importantly, the 77 Blazers outperformed the 95 Rockets in their net rating in the playoffs with a plus 4.3 versus the Rockets plus 3, showcasing their dominance during that run. And then Walton also played against 350-win teams, the only 350-win teams in the league in comparison to Hakeem's 4. And there were more during that time where there were 5 because of the influx of more teams and the more amount of people that could play. And then also the biggest quality contributions is that he swept the Lakers 4-0 against the MVP in Kareem. And then he also came from a 2-0 comeback against the 76ers to go 4 straight, win the NBA championship.
2, 1.
And again, this is just more evidence being given my way, guys. As you heard even admit, Bill Walton didn't have nearly as much responsibility as Hakeem Olajuwon. Not only did Hakeem Olajuwon have to be their best scorer and their best defender, their best rebounder, arguably their best facilitator in many of these games, many of these series, but he did it against a competition that was objectively better. Really, you guys like Caldwell Jones, George McGinnis, and Artis Gilmore weren't to the same level as prime Karl Malone, prime David Robinson, prime Shaquille O'Neal. That's not even going to be close. And obviously the prime guy that we did face and that he kind of danced over was, as I mentioned before, prime Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, was basically carrying that team against a loaded Trailblazers team, wildly outplayed Bill Walton in points, rebounds, efficiency, especially efficiency. His numbers actually went way up versus Walton, right? A supposed defensive powerhouse. And again, the only reason he didn't win was because Walton had the far better team, a very deep team. He could defer. He was a 3rd scoring option during that game. He could defer and just focus on playing defense, playing the pseudo facilitator, right? Because he had guys like Maurice Lucas, like Lionel Hollins, to be the 1st and 2nd option there in many of these games against better competition. Okay, now Walton didn't rise to meet it. He just basically became that great team player. Okay, he wasn't out there carrying the team, as my opponent readily admitted. He was a great part of the engine, a cog, a Bill Russell type situation that, again, fit into that team makeup, and they did it beautifully. Okay, but it wasn't the excellent carry job by any stretch of the imagination that Hakeem pulled off. Hakeem was 32, 11, and 5. Basically every one of his stats went up, okay, especially in the NBA Finals. Okay, now we're talking about all of these versus Bill Walton's as well. Bill Walton's stat line from his regular season basically remained static. Okay, and I mean, this is impressive. He still had good numbers, but they were nothing near Hakeem's. Okay, Hakeem didn't just, and we're talking about the NBA Finals, right? One of the greatest ever by a center. Again, he outplayed Shaq to the point of 32, 11, 5.5 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal. Elite efficiency. He outplayed him in every major category. And again, Hakeem did this once again by being the only elite scorer on that team. No other Rocket averaged more than 15 points a game in the playoffs. Every defensive scheme was built to stop him. Every double team aimed at him. Not his teammates scoring more than him. creating their own shots, again, breaking down the defense, closing out games. It was him. Every possession ran through. He still averaged 33 a night for an entire postseason. Okay. Now, we've talked about the competition. We're going to go through a little bit, round out in round 3, the context, why it's not even close, and we're going to sum it all up and basically talk about exactly what separated truly the rosters and everything else from their
3,
competition.
2, 1.
Well, I wanted to add that Walton had a higher blocks plus minus with 6 to 5.4 and win shares per 48 with 162 to 143 in comparison against each other. Walton had more responsibility than Hakeem. Walton was the best rebounder, blocker, and passer, similarly to what Hakeem did a lot. But what you're saying is sensationalism to say they didn't have more responsibility. They also had the same amount of opponents that had similar amount of rewards that year, which is all that matters because you only play who's in front of you. He didn't have to elevate his play because he dominated by being consistent across the regular season, and he transcended that into the playoffs, unlike Hakeem, who had to elevate all this stuff. But Walton didn't have to. And then and Bill Walton's teammates didn't create their own shots. They scored primarily through him when they didn't get off the break in the half court through his half court passing. But thank you for the debate, Travis, also known as my opponent. To start, Walton had greater ability than Hakeem up into and into their playoff runs. Walton came into the playoffs as the runner-up to the MVP, an All-Star, the All-NBA second team, All-NBA first team, the blocks champion, and total rebounds champion. This is the momentum he brought coming into the playoffs. Comparing that to Hakeem, he only achieved the 5th highest voting for MVP, 3rd for Defensive Player of the Year, an award that didn't exist for Walton at the time. And then he also was an All-Star and the All-NBA third team with no stat titles to show his dominance against his peers. For their playoff runs, Walton finished the playoffs leading in total rebounds, total assists, and total blocks, while in comparison, Hakeem only led in points and blocks. Both players had impressive playoff stats, with Walton's 18 rebounds per game, 18 points per game, 15 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 3.5 blocks, and 1.1 steals versus Hakeem's 33 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, 4.5 assists per game, almost 3 blocks per game, and 1.2 steals per game. So Walton outperformed Hakeem in 3 out of the 5 major stat categories heads up. This was all done as a fast break team where Walton played the defender, rebounder, outlet passer, and was team focused. And when Walton did get into the half court, he did all this passing. So he wasn't up there scoring as much as these other guys because he was also getting the rebounding and passing into the fast break. That was the bread and butter of the Trailblazers, and they kept that consistently throughout the regular season into the playoffs. Additionally, the team was famous for its cutters in the half court and was stated by Jack Ramsey, their coach, to potentially have the most layups made ever during the playoffs because they constantly were doing backdoor cuts. They were doing these passes over each other's head. Just fantastic, especially within the less spacing of that time. Walton also had a...
1.
All right, guys. So again, just to touch a little bit on what what Mr. Dart said, my opponent was, of course, the one he said he didn't have to because he basically admitted everything that I was actually impressed was because he said he didn't have to do all this and now that because he had the team composition. Exactly. Hakeem didn't have that benefit. He didn't have guys who he could defer to 2-3 other teammates who would lead the offense completely on the other end while he focused on defense and rebounding. Which he had to do. He did that anyway, right? Walton could focus on rebounding, passing, and help defense because he had guys like Maurice Lucas and Lionel Hollins to carry the scoring load. He wasn't being doubled. He wasn't being blitzed. He wasn't being fronted. He wasn't being triple teamed. Hakeem was every single night, and he still put up historic numbers. He talked about how he had to put up raise his game across the playoffs. Of course, that's what champions do. And if he doesn't exceed his regular season totals or averages by a significant amount, they probably don't win. But that just goes to the exact same argument. Bill Walton didn't have that pressure. He didn't have to. He just played the same game he played during the regular season, which was basically a big man playing defense, occasionally getting to put that basket, and being a facilitator. Whenever the ball was in his hands, and again, he didn't really have to create his own shot because he had better scores than him on his own team. Okay, and don't forget, Walton he can't emphasize this enough. Was often a 3rd or 4th scoring option. Okay, but that again, it comes down to way more than that. Okay, because, as we also touched on, the 95 Rockets are the only team in NBA history to win a championship without home court advantage in a single round. Okay. They're also only one of 2 teams ever, along with the 2010 Lakers, to beat 451 teams on the way to a title. Okay. Every opponent was elite. Every series started on the road. Every break favored the other team. Houston still won. Okay. 77 Blazers had a better overall roster. They had again, we touched on Maurice Lucas, Lionel Hollins, future All-Star, Bob Gross, a great defender. They had guys like Dave Djordjic, efficient guard, a deep, cohesive bench. Okay. They had multiple double-digit scorers. And again, we're talking about why Walton, we're talking about guys who couldn't, basically Walton didn't have to elevate his game. He could have off offensive nights, times where he was shooting sub 40% from the field, okay? And that was fine because he had guys who could shoulder that load. Okay, Hakeem didn't have those options, okay? So when you look at overall, okay, it was memorable. His run was impressive, okay? It was extraordinarily significant for its time. When you put it next to Hakeem's 1995 masterpiece, same position, same responsibilities, same expectations, the difference is insane. Okay, Hakeem didn't play great basketball. He authored one of the most dominant postseason runs the sport has ever seen. He went through harder competition. He did so shouldering the offensive and defensive load. And Bill Walton didn't have to do it. There's Herm.
How much of this you hear, Herm?
Herm said he listened to the whole thing.
What's happening, man?
What's happening, fellas? What's happening? It was a hell of a debate. It's a hell of a debate. Yeah, man. I don't. How much of this you heard, Herm? Because I'm not sure if I want to be the only one judging. But if you didn't hear it all, it's not fair to judge.
Nah, I heard it all for real.
Okay, so I mean, it's up to the opponent. I mean, do y'all want to hear Herm's judgment since he was watching, or
sure.
Y'all just want me?
You guys decide. Okay.
Okay. All right. Now we'll have Herm. We'll have Herm, and again, then we'll open it up also to the audience. That might, if it's a tie, then maybe that could break. But this is a good debate. I learned a lot. Yeah, I mean, how do you guys feel you did?
I felt I did really good. I felt I knocked off some of the rust from the last debate. I still think I could have improved. I messed up on my timing on the last round.
Yeah, hey, talk through the 3, 2, 1, bro. I can hear you. I listen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, finish it up. Yeah.
No, I would have gone about 20 seconds over. I didn't. I got you.
Yeah. So at that point, yeah, I got you. At that point, just choke it up. Yeah, you don't want to take 20 seconds of Travis's time. That's unfair. But yeah, if you're not gonna finish that last thought, then just leave it go. Leave it be.
Yeah, I was like, I almost forgot. Like, I kept forgetting about the minute round, but I was like, okay, a lot of my argument I put up there, and like it's the timing and the closure. I was a little off on that, but I think I did okay. I think it was great. It was a fantastic debate. And I mean, it's, 2 great players, and we'll see what you guys think.
All right, I'll go first.
Okay.
So I'm giving Travis. I'm giving Dart another 30. I'm giving him a 30. And Travis, me and you talk a lot, right? Me and you actually, we've talked a lot over the time. What if I tell you that Hakeem Olajuwon in that game 2 against Utah before they get out of Utah down 2-0, Hakeem Olajuwon was the 3rd leading scorer? I was just asking the question. So I'm giving the judgment. But what if I tell you he was the 3rd leading scorer before they get out of Utah? And so they go back to Houston down tied 1-1. Remember, this best of 5 series, not a best of 7 series. All right, and they're playing a 62-win Utah Jazz. What if I tell you Hakeem Olajuwon is the 3rd leading scorer on the Rockets?
You're asking me to participate with your.
Yeah, well, I'm just asking you that question. I'm just because I'm going to give you why I think Dart took all 3 rounds, and when I tell you this, because you base a lot of your argument on Hakeem not having the scoring help when he had considerable scoring help, especially in round 1. That was really the first. Again, you're playing against Malone and Stockton. You're playing against a 62-win Jazz team, and again, right, the Rockets won 47. I believe they were 6th seed because of that. And that if you go down 2-0, you now have to win 3 games. But Hakeem Olajuwon was a third leading scorer, and you based a lot of it. I think I didn't get, and you know me, I love teams. You tell me how the team goes. So as you're bringing up that Hakeem Olajuwon had to shoulder the scoring load, he did have considerable scoring help. He did have considerable playmaking help in Sam Cassell and Kenny Smith. Kenny Smith was the leading scorer in that game too, with 32. Clyde Drexler scores 30. Clyde Drexler also scores 41 in game 1. So the fact that he scores 41 later in that series, I believe. I remember his game. But as you made the point that Hakeem Olajuwon did not have the scoring help or did not have you're not really going to the fabric of what made the Rockets. They were an inside-outside team. So when you have Cassell and Kenny Smith on the court at the same time with the Drexler, one thing you also said in round 1, an aging Clyde Drexler. You failed to, like, at this point, wait, didn't Drexler and Team play together in college? They're 1 year apart. They're like 11 months, like Drexler's 11 months older. So when you say an aging Drexler, that's a little bit disingenuous. But again, what Dart did is what Dart did, and I learned a lot about the Trailblazers. He explained how Walton was a facilitator, almost a Jokic in that mind, and that was really his one season to be great. That was like after that he was injured every playoff. The next time he gets to contribute to a winner is with Boston, and that's as a 6th man, right? So we know that about what, but he was pretty special. And again, not having, we say he didn't have to shoulder the scoring load. Well, his role was to defend, rebound, be a good scorer, but also make other players better. And that's what Walton did with those Blazers. While Hakeem was doing the same thing, but it seemed like, and this is the thing, I think you have this problem from Go James Kingdom, and I'm not holding that against you, but it's like you're hiding the dirt, like you're not being honest about the supporting cast of the Blazers. You're not, of the Rockets. Clyde Drexler still was an elite 2 guard. You still get good playmaking, and also Robert Horry. You didn't mention Robert Horry. Like, I get it. It's almost like you got to hide the dirt. You got to basically tell me these guys weren't good. What Dart is actually showing me how Walton actually enhances these guys. Now, if you had said, hey, a lot of what the Rockets did started with going inside the Hakeem, playing inside, drawing double teams, and making the other guys better scorers. But it seemed like you just, he's doing this, he's doing that. He's got to do everything for the team, which is true. But you do have considerable receivers in the Clyde, in a Kenny, and a Mario Ellie who's playing also defense.
Bro,
yeah.
Bro, can we have Herm give his judgment, and then we can go back to the conversation after?
Yeah. Hey, Dart, I gave you the 30, bro. Let me just finish up real quick, and that's what I'm just saying. Because I want people, I get it. But that's where pretty much it is. And if I start off that, I think you did a much better job of basically showing me the team and Walton's role in the team. And I think that Trav was kind of hiding the dirt by saying, hey, these guys weren't as good. And that's where I'm giving him the debate. Whether I think whoever had the best, I think you did a better job of explaining that role. Also, I'll talk about the competition later. But yeah, Herm can go.
I give it 2-1 Dart. I love how Travis ended the debate. If he would have had that same energy throughout the debate, it probably could have been a different outcome. But Dart came out swinging, came out aggressive, something that I'm used to him doing. So Man, I give Dart the edge 2-1. He did a great job in hitting the head nail on the coffin. How he basically educated people about the Portland Trailblazers. I liked all that. You know what I'm saying? So I think Dart just came out blazing with a fast start. Travis got warmed up, but it was a little bit too late. You know what I'm saying? The counter what Dart was bringing those first couple of rounds. So I give it 2-1 edge to Dart. But Travis, if he would have did what he did that last round, it'll be a whole nother conversation, to be honest.
Mm. Well, hey, you guys heard it here. Your boy lost this time. Brings our greatest debate series to a 1-1 tie.
We're in a new season, huh?
Yeah. Also, just like to point out, Hakeem was the leading scorer of that Utah series, 35 points a game.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
So,
yes, he was. But yeah,
Bill Walton, not just one or two games, but entire series. So,
no, I got you. I got you.
So
I got you. But hey, Clyde, what did Clyde average, Trav?
25.
Okay, that's that hide the dirt thing you do, and that's what I'm saying. So I want people to understand. Hey, when you have me, don't hide the dirt. Just come out with it. Oh yeah, he had 25 because you could have pretty much framed it. Well, yeah, these two were cooking together, and it really was Akeem's dominance of drawing double teams. You know.
Yeah. As I think I mentioned.
By the way, Felton Spencer is his center matchup. I know he was guarding Malone, and Joe Klein was his center matchup in round 2. So
yeah. Well, I mean, Hakeem also guarded like all of these guys as well.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. But it is a little bit more of the hide the dirt. Yeah, he can play off and guard Barkley a little bit more because he's got to worry about Joe Klein and not Maurice Lucas. So I mean, not Hakeem and you telling me that Artis Gilmore wasn't considerable competition when you got Joe Klein and Felton Spencer in the first 2 rounds. Yeah, I mean, come on, bro. You're not gonna hide the dirt on me, bro.
Well, I don't know. I think you looked into things that weren't there as far as, I mean, you didn't actually see the actual argument.
No,
hey, I'm not gonna double check on it. I think what you're saying is you wish, because this is about basically who had the greater run, right? And
yeah, and you got to consider competition, right? You got some competition.
Sure.
You got to consider the team makeup and all that, and this and the third, right? You got to consider all of that, and yeah. The 60-win teams are a very strong point. He beat 3 60-win teams. Well, 5 50-win teams, 4 50-win teams, and the 3 60-win teams. I believe. Oh wait, San Antonio won 60 games, right?
I believe so. Yeah. It was great.
Orlando only won 59 or something like that. Well, either way, like it's still considerable. Like, I mean, Shaq and Penny, right? So that is great. But again, the superstars, you made that up. But again, it's that hide the dirt thing where Dart really educated us on what the Trailblazers went through, what they faced. They faced the best teams at the time. He did make the point of the parity why you don't have 60-win teams because this is the first season post merger, right? And yeah, so that again. Hey, beating Dr. J in the finals, yeah, that's another superstar. You know what I'm saying? Like you basically said, like acted like Kareem was the only megastar. Yeah,
and he swept Kareem, and he dunked
and he swept him. And he swept him. Yeah, I know you talk about the numbers.
An MVP type series against him directly head to head.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Walton 18-9-5 with the blocks in the finals. I mean, 18-19-5 with the blocks. Yeah, that was the Bill Walton song right there, man. And he did. Yep. He did a. It's like Bill Walton is like a Joel Embiid. I'm not saying he's Joel Embiid, but when it comes to the injury problems, but yet he got that finals run in there, and that's a great. That's why he's revered the way he is. So I learned a lot about Walton today.
Herm, do you got anything to add to the what you saw in this debate, or what you liked, or what you wanted to see more?
No, like I said, like my whole tail to tape, you came out fine. I like the way you started this one off. You was past of the last debate. You came out aggressive. First couple of rounds, Travis, He got warmed up at the end. He was hitting hard at the end because I had him winning that last round. But for the overall debate, I thought you did a better job. I know the popular thing, a lot of people not gonna understand the Portland Trailblazers, what that team brought, and how great Bill Walton was at the time. So I don't think a lot of people really gonna comprehend with it. So a lot of people still may choose Travis, but just off understanding Bill Walton's legacy, what the Trailblazer was in the '70s, and what he brought to the table, man. Yeah, I gave it to you. But Travis, if he would have did what he did in that last round, instead of that last round throughout the debate for at least another round, he would have got it in my opinion. But you got it because you got out to a bad start. That's all it was. It was just all about who came out blazing early, man. Both of y'all did great. It just that Dart just came out a little bit off the block a little bit faster this time. So,
and I want to tell the commenters, right? Because we gotta realize that, hey, both of these runs were amazing, right? Both of these runs were amazing. Both of these guys played against legends. They played against who was in front of them, and they did very well. We're judging the argument, not necessarily stating our opinions on who do we think had the better actual run. We're judging what argument we think.
Hakeem better than Bill Walton. You know what I'm saying to me.
I mean, again, remember this is only 1 year, right? So you saying that he was, and again, that's very. Hey, listen, Hakeem was damn near second to none when you look at what he did and this and the third. Only thing, I'm penalizing Travis because Travis knows this. I love team composition and all that. When you try to hide how good Cloud was, right? When you don't even mention Sam Cassell, or you try to make it like these guys were just kind of like, background characters. That's where it gets disingenuous because Dart actually told you how Bill Walton enhanced the guys he was playing with, the Lionel Hollins, the Maurice Lucas, etc. Telling you who he played against, playing against the Dan Essels and Bobby Jones and stuff like that. So, that's what I just thought he made a better argument. I thought it was all there, but I told Travis, you can't hide the dirt. You can't sit there and act like what's the name getting 25 against the Jazz wasn't crucial. Well, Drexler getting 25 and change, and even Kenny Smith averaged 17 against John Stockton. That's crucial. Having Sam Cassell come off the bench and get him 2 point guards at one point, and again, 2 point guards, 2 shooters. That was the essence of the inside out Rockets. Who, trust me, I know in '94 I had to deal with that shit in the finals, and they were actually even better in '95. So especially for the playoff run.
I just wanted to say, Travis, thank you. I thought it was a great debate. I got my revenge for that Kobe debate, which I should have won. I could have done better on it, and I killed a whale. I ate a lot of fish, and then I killed the whale in Travis, my opponent.
Really illegal.
Killer whale.
Well, hey, yes, you did, man. And like I said, this is the second official greater series debate that we had. So our series is now 1-1, and so we're trying. There will be another debate, assuming Viz is game.
I reached out to Viz. I reached out to Viz to see if we can get it together 2:00. Hey, it's my son's birthday on Monday, man. We got to go shopping for him, get him a little something. We going out for a minute, but I will try to be here too to have the debate with Viz.
Yeah.
Hey, now remember the debate we did 91? The 91 Lakers versus the 01 Blazers. I mean, not Spurs. I want to try to do that again, right? I know it was difficult to judge. Dart said it was difficult to judge, but I want to challenge you to that, Travis. I want you to pick another team that didn't win a championship, and I'll pick a team that didn't win a championship, and we'll try to have a debate and convince the judges that our team would win in a 7-game series. Are you up for that? Or is anybody else judge that?
You want to get destroyed again?
Yeah, the Terry acting like Terry Porter was a prime point guard, bro. Look, I'm ready for it. 38-year-old Magic beat 28-year-old Terry Porter.
I'm super down. Any debate, anytime I'm
30-year-old Terry.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm super down for that. Like I said, that's fun. Well, we can have that series as well. And hey, Armani, what's a good bet? Herm and Dart, are you just so I can see are you guys down to judge that debate here in about an hour? Or are you guys gonna be busy?
Yeah, I'm good. Even though I know Viz and the other guy that called me out last week, they scared of me though. They're scared of that Tim Duncan smoke. But that's a conversation for another day, man.
Hey, I'm gonna have the Tim Duncan smoke today, man. Listen. I ain't even really. I mean, I've been preparing. Because this is really kind of an opinion thing. I'll look at a couple of key facts and all of that. But yeah, I'm ready for the Tim Duncan smoke. Again, top 10. I look at it this way, man. You can only put 10 in your top 10. You can only put 10 in your top 10.
Viz knew to choose you instead of me, though. He knew to choose you instead of me.
Hey, you want? Well, I'll do it. No, because me and Viz, we're friendlies that need to finally get in the ring and spar. So that's what it. Me and Viz, we rock, but we got to get in there and spar. Sometimes you got to spar with your friends. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
If
Viz is here, bro, I mean, do you want to just do it now? If
he's ready, I'm ready.
Oh yeah.
He's ready, I'm ready. Because I do. I mean, it would be easier for me to do this debate and then go get ready afterwards. Likely is
sure, man. Yeah, there's a link, man. Are you down? Come on up and go.
Hey,
we got the judges here and everything.
So he got we got him the link. We'll see if he's ready.
Yeah, can you drop the link?
I'll go straight off the dome.
Your channel.
Yeah.
And because we're already streaming on both channels. So if y'all want to just combine this, we can do it. So let's see what Viz got to say when he come up. If ready, I'm ready.
Yeah. Can you drop it? Can you drop the link on your channel because he's on your
channel? Sure. That's probably what it is. All right, cool.
Man, that's a disappointing one. I had more confidence going in there with that one than the Kobe one, honestly.
I really, this one I had to work. I feel like I had to work harder for. The Jokic one, I really didn't. I think for one was rusty, and two, I didn't bring home a lot of these things. So anyway, Viz is here.
Yeah. What's good, bro? You working, man? Are you ready to debate?
I came back. I mean, yeah, this is a different format, so I'm gonna step in the ring and Herm. The reason why I had this issue with Roe before I even knew about your stance on Tim Duncan, so I'm just going at it in order. That's all, brother. Ain't nobody. Yeah. This ain't my realm. I mean, I could debate, but this ain't really my realm. But we want to see how I do. So I'm ready.
All right, bro.
I'm ready. Scottie Pippen in the 90s. I'm gonna get my FYF on right now with my debate style.
Oh man.
Well, hey.
Can we do this? All right. Can we do this 2-minute rounds? 3 2-minute rounds?
That's fine.
I think 2 minutes is what we ain't got to be that verbose about it. And so if we do the 3 2-minute rounds, that'd be great. That'll work for me time wise.
Yeah, I'm on the road as y'all guys see. That's fine with me. So
yeah.
I guess I'm proving that I'm making my claim why Tim Duncan is a top 10 player, and I guess Roe gonna tell me why he isn't, or make his case on why he isn't.
Hey, Roe,
if you want to set that up, Dart, put us in the judges slots, and these guys just up there.
Oh, so we got 3 judges for it too.
Cool. Should be easy, bro. It should be easy work, man. It should.
Actually, we'll see what my audience thinks.
It's all about making my argument, brother. It's all how you put it together, brother. That's all.
I mean,
it should be easy. Y'all guys are the debaters, so it should be easy work.
Hey, Viz, are you good to debate right now?
So we're gonna debate right now, and we want to do 3 2-minute rounds. Let's figure out who's going first. You want to go first, or I'll go first?
Yeah, I can set it off.
Okay, so Viz will set it off.
Yeah, I can set it off.
So Ed Kirkcarry, this is Viz right here. You asked in the comments who's Viz. That's Viz.
Yeah, I set it off. Hold on, because you know these guys love me. So let me go. Hold on, let me switch my screen so these guys You know, these guys love to look at me and make fun of, so they get the profile pic or whatnot.
Okay, for you guys, just to let you know, so the timer is going to have a 10-second primer viz. So it'll be 10 seconds, and then you'll hear a bell, and then that's when you'll begin. And then you'll hear another bell when the transition happens. If you start going over your timer, you can talk through the bell, but once you get past the bell, if you keep talking, I will mute you, and then it goes both ways for this. So
all right, I got bias ass Herm on one of the judges. No, I'm ready to rock though. Let's get it.
All right, I'm gonna drop off. If you guys are ready, I'm gonna start the 10-second primer. You'll hear the bell, and then the debate will begin.
I see it. I don't hear it.
3, 2,
oh, there you go.
1.
All right, man. I feel like Tim Duncan is a top 10 all-time, one of the top 10 greatest players of all time. I'm making my case for that right now. I would say he's hands down the best power forward ever. Longevity, individual accolades, he got it. Stats, he has it too. He was able to transcend his game in 3 different decades. One of the most. Oh, hold on, I got an echo. One of the most prime ready players to come out of college. Hands down, the #1 draft pick coming out of college. Was an MVP candidate his rookie year, rookie of the year, all NBA first team, top 5 finish in defensive player of the year, all NBA second team defensive, all in his rookie year. Was a top 5 MVP candidate his first 8 years in the league. Was an MVP twice back-to-back in 02 and 03. Was a champion his second year. As a sophomore, he was a finals MVP. Led that team to a finals with David Robinson. What else? By his third year, he was still an MVP candidate. By his 4th year, he was an MVP. Like I said, he was a defensive player of the year. His top 5, he got 7 top 5 finishes as a defensive player of the year. Due to the era he was in, he wasn't able to achieve top defensive player of the year. He's a 15-time all defensive team, 15-time all NBA player, 2-time MVP, 5-time world champion as the leader of his team, one of the best team defenders and one of the best defenders of his era. Elevated his game more so in his prime when the playoff time come defensively. Led the playoffs in defensive. Led the playoffs in blocks on 2 occasions, averaging over 4 a game.
So I'm gonna start with the fact that I don't never believe that Tim Duncan was the best player in the league. I don't believe at any point he was the best player in the league. I think in 03 and 04 he might have had an argument for being one of the best players, but not the best. And that's pretty much when it comes to my GOAT criteria. When you talk about the greatest players of all time, you're talking about the greatest players for 80 years of basketball, not the part that you've seen. If you're 30, if you're 35, if you're 40, you're talking about the greatest players of all time. That's what GOAT literally stands for. That means you have to judge from 1946, the first year of the Basketball Association of America and National Basketball League, and until they merged until now. Tim Duncan was 13th on my list. The 12 players I have, I start off with Michael Jordan, a lot of people's consistent GOAT. Will Chamberlain, statistical dominance. Bill Russell, winning team player dominance. 5-time MVP himself. Hakeem Olajuwon, that's my number 10. I know I'm going out of order. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 6 championships, 5 MVPs. I mean, these are all players that were greater than Duncan. That's 5. I got the 6th guy, Magic Johnson, another one, 3-time MVP. All-time leading assist when he retired. Went to 9 finals, 5 championships in 12 years. Not 20, 5 championships in 12 years. Oh, yeah, he was a finals MVP as a rookie. He was the #1 pick as well. That's what my opponent pointed out. Also have Larry Bird, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, and LeBron James. Three of his contemporaries who arguably were just better players. One MVP.
I feel like Tim Duncan is a top 10 all-time player due to the fact that when you talk about basketball, you play basketball to win. Sometimes you can be the man. Sometimes when you pass your prime, you can still be the man and affect the game in other different ways. Tim Duncan was able to have relevance in 3 different decades. As a young rookie, he was going up against elites, one of the last few years of the elite bigs, and he was able to overachieve and become a champion and even get MVP votes, as I said, in his rookie years. In the mid 2000s, he was going up against some of the best guard play ever. Still was able to adjust his game. Still was able to lead his team defensively. If it wasn't doing it offensively, he was doing it defensively. Elevated his team. Even when Bruce Bowen passed, he still was the anchor of that team's defense with multiple top 5 rated defensive teams throughout the decade of the 2000s, and even later in his career, in the early to mid 2010s, he was still able to lead his team to championships. He was able to adjust his game. One of the more, like they say, Kevin Durant able to adjust his game. You could put him on anywhere. Yeah, Kevin Durant did do that, but with Tim Duncan was one of the few guys that can adjust his game, sacrifice his numbers, sacrifice his overall game, adjust and help out in other areas and still be effective and still impact the game. Was an MVP candidate even his second to last year. He was able to still help his team win championships in 3 different decades. In the 2010s, even later in his career, he was able to help them win championships. And when you talk about why you played it for what? To win championships. And he was the ultimate player. And I feel like if you're able to impact in 3 different decades, there's no way you can't be top 10 all the time. And you got all the other accolades to go with that as well.
I think my opponent needs to realize everything he just said about Duncan, everybody else in my top 10 did at one point or another. Jordan sacrificed individual scoring to play within the triangle system. Yeah, he still was leading the league in scoring, but instead of getting 38, he was getting 30, 31, 32, 33, 28 in the second three-peat. Like Magic, same thing. Everything, all those guys did everything Duncan did. Sacrificing, playing team ball, the whole 9. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a bit player in those last 2 championships, the back-to-back championship. The first team in 20 years to win back-to-back since the Celtics went back-to-back in the last 2 years of the Bill Russell era. Bill Russell was all about sacrifice. Wilt Chamberlain was scoring 30 points a game, 35 points a game. He took his scoring back and focused more on defense and facilitating to win his 2 championships. Everybody else did what Duncan did. They just were better players. They just were greater players. Again, Kobe, same thing. Kobe had to win with Shaq, right? Kobe sacrificed not scoring where he could score dominant. He could have been a dominant scorer against the Nets, but he knew that the matchup was his center. Shaq is being guarded by an old Mutombo and an old and a Tom McCullough and guys like that. Jason Collins. They sacrifice. So in the grand scheme of things, when you look at the resumes, overall resumes, again, like Duncan's the greatest power forward of all time. Only played half his career at power forward. Played half at center. If we judge him as a center, is he the top 5 center of all time? I don't think so.
Well, my opponent already acknowledged Tim Duncan's the greatest power forward of all time, and just on the strength of that alone, who do you have in your top 10 that's not the greatest at? You have Dr. J in there. You have Larry Bird in your top 5. Now, one of them got to be the greatest small forward of all time. I don't think you got LeBron in your top 10 or whatever. But if you do, whatever the case may be. Tim Duncan, as you said, is the greatest power forward of all time. Tim Duncan was able to adjust his game in 3 different decades: small ball era, the dead ball era, the 2000s, and even the open space in the 2010s. Tim Duncan was also able to pretty much be one of the greatest power forward and also be probably the greatest utility man in 3 different eras. Like I said, early in his career, dominant young man, dominant young guy, Mr. Fundamentals, can break you down, footwork, what you want, backboard shot, and he can probably take you off the dribble from 16 feet out. What you want him to do defensively. Later in his career, he still was able to be an impactful defensive player. Not the greatest on-ball defender, but a great team defender. Still getting you over 2 blocks a game later in his career. Like I said, still elevated his game defensively. Still was a glue guy. He became the glue guy later in his career. This is when you play the game to win basketball games. Tim Duncan was able to be the man, be the co-star, and be the glue guy, and be the role player, and what it translated to. It all translated to wins. Never missed the playoffs his entire duration of career. It can't just be by coincidence. It's because of this man. He was able to be anything you needed him to be. He was able to do that. You need him to be a scorer, he can be a scorer. You need him to be the top rebounder, he can be a rebounder. You need him to be a shot blocker, he can be a shot blocker. You need to run an offense through him, you can run an offense through him. He did this in 3 different decades, and in 3 different decades, and he was able to win championships in 3 different decades. I think just on the strength of that alone, 15 All-NBAs, 15 All-Defensive, 2-time back-to-back MVP, 3 Finals MVPs, tall top 10 in my opinion.
The accolades are great, but Duncan gets to qualify 3 positions: center, power forward, and 2 forward positions. That's how the All-NBA was. So you got 9 slots. So all he had to do was be one of the best 9 front court players, and he's going to be All-NBA. Or you got to be one of the best 6 all front court defenders, because you have center, power forward, and both forward positions where Duncan can make the impact at. And so he's going to have that. I'm glad my opponent mentioned the greatest power forward thing of all time, right? He also mentioned something earlier about how the elite big man, he was one of the last elite big men. That means the elite big men, like the guys most of the guys I have ahead of him, all faded out during Duncan's career, where Duncan is able to outshine his competition. Again, I'm not. Again, I said I'm not a hide the dirt guy. So Duncan was really, really great. I'm but the thing is, was he greater than the players that came before him? He wasn't. He was not. If you had to judge him as center only, he's not a top 5 center. He's a top 5. He's the top 5 power forward. But just because he's the top power forward doesn't mean a power forward has to be in the top 10. Because before Duncan, how many power forwards were in the top 10 of all time? None. I think before Duncan, you have Karl Malone and Elvin Hayes, and a lot of people have them outside their top 20. Since Duncan, you've had great power forwards, but you've had Dirk Nowitzki, you have Kevin Garnett. At some point, I think some of those guys were arguably better. I think Kevin Garnett was arguably better. I think Duncan is the greatest Spur, but is his peak better than Robinson? Go ahead and look at the numbers. The numbers will not support it. He's never averaged more than 25 points a game. He's never had to dominate in that way. Woo!
Bro, you acknowledge him being the greatest power forward of all time. I don't flip it on me.
I acknowledge it, but what I also said is, I'm sorry. But he doesn't, just because you're the greatest power forward on time. The centers, this is a center league for the first half of NBA history. And so power forwards were actually the smaller center. But my bad.
Since the debate's over, if you could let the judges give their takes, and we can continue.
Yeah, then we'll go after. Yeah.
Travis, you want to start?
Sure. I mean, I thought this is a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be, because, I mean, for one thing, I thought that both contestants did a great job of fitting their arguments into the 2-minute rounds, which is always tough. And congrats to Viz. I mean, first official debate you said, and I thought you did a great job. I actually gave it to you 2-1. I thought that you started off a little shaky. It sounded like you were going to try and say a lot of facts about Tim Duncan that didn't really relate to the actual case of him being top 10, and as in basically compared to other guys that are everyone's top 10, right? Solidified. Like, you can't have a discussion without them being top 10. Otherwise, you don't know. But as you went along, you actually started breaking down his resume a little bit more, and you also, I love the argument about, how it's, how he was actually not just from like an accolade standpoint, which is fantastic. That's actually in itself a top 10 argument, but how he adjusted his game over and how he actually compares to some of these other greats. And the last round I thought was your strongest round as well, where you actually tied it all together with the with your actual top 10 argument. You compared him to some other names, and with the I've never really liked the but he was listed as center while argument, and that you to explain away some of the accolades and achievements. And so, I mean, that's not really something that a person has their accolades and achievements. Like you can put an asterisk next to so many of these guys if we want to go down that road. And so, I mean, that way I gave it to you. Like I said, it was an abridged debate, but I did like it. You brought a lot of the heat, a lot of Tim Duncan facts. I think he's a widely underrated player. Coming a bit biased or whatever, but I give it 2-1 to you.
Herm, if you don't mind, I'll go next.
Okay.
All right. So for the first round, so I thought Viz and anyone that ever wants to have these debates is that you're going against 4,990 players against 10 to get somebody over the top 10 mark. So I admire your zeal to try and win this debate when all Roe had to do is give some semblance of doubt that Tim Duncan is not a top 10 player. It's a lot harder to prove that somebody is a top 10 player than they're not, especially if it's close. For the first round, Viz came out and really didn't say why he's a top 10 player. He did list a lot of his awards, championships, accolades, achievements, but it didn't really say why he was a top 10 player specifically. Roe talks about what I talked about, 4,999 players. He has to be top 10 in 80 years of basketball. GOAT is all time. So I thought that was a relatively closer one, but Roe was showing how you needed to actually have put the top 10 players ahead. So I had Roe winning round one. So for round two, Viz came back and gave some reasoning. He really said just up front that he led the team to championships over 3 decades, talked about Duncan playing basketball to win, playing against the best guard play or very good guard play in the 2000s, top 5 defensive record team in the 2000s. And then Roe said, and because you were also talking about sacrifice awards and all of that, Roe led off saying that all of the top 10 players did the same things, but you didn't omit the except the 3 decades thing. You didn't say, so I gave that one to Viz because I think it was a fault because you said everyone else did the same thing, but Viz specifically said he won in 3 different decades. He actually gave some reason why he's a top 10 player. So I gave Viz that second round. For the third round, Viz really was talking about the same kind of stuff and then talked about translated the wins. And then Roe came back with a rebuttal for a lot of these awards, talking about the all NBA and all defense, how he could be slotted in 5 different areas. So I think that I gave that last one to Roe. So I had it be 2-1, Roe with the win. I thought it was relatively close. I think this is one of these, just like the what team is better with teams that didn't win a playoff run. For me, I find it hard to kind of judge these, but this one, I think you got to really bring it, and the other guy has to not bring it because one guy is arguing for 10 or to be better than 10 guys, and then the other guy is arguing to be better than 4,990. So I gave Roe the win, but I thought it was an entertaining debate. What are your thoughts?
I think they both was slipping a little bit. Wasn't as convincing as they typically would be with their talking points. I seen them when they firmly believe in something, they be firm, they be direct, they be confident in what they're saying, and I think they both kind of slipped in that aspect. But the overall debate, it was real close. I actually got it as a tie. I think that I had Rowe winning the first, I had Viz winning the second. That third round, to me either way. I thought they both had some faults. I thought they both left a lot of meat on the bone. So honestly, with me, I got it as a tie. To me, I don't think they. I think a lot. I think they both somewhat had some of the same similarities as far as that the debates could have that their debate and their talking points could have been better in the debate, in my opinion. So I actually got it as a tie. I don't think it is a clear cut definitive winner, in my opinion. It was very close. Could have went either way, especially in that third round. But I actually rate that third round as a tie though, because I didn't feel like neither one of them pulled away from one another, in my opinion.
All right. I'm sorry.
Real fast, Ro. I just want to address Eternal Basketball Family. If you say that Eric Snow won Sixth Man of the Year, and then you don't say, and that's what makes him a top 10 player over Tim Duncan or whatever the argument is, and then you just say Tim Duncan won awards, you saying Eric Snow because he won the Sixth Man of the Year is a better argument because you're actually making an argument. So that's the whole point with that. Do I think Eric Snow is anywhere near Tim Duncan? Obviously not. But it's the point of it is you got to make an argument. You can't just list things. Anyway.
Yeah, I know I get okay, we're in a post-debate discussion now. I know I get a lot of slack for bringing up the 9 positions that Duncan gets to qualify for, but it does give you an advantage when you're comparing it to guys who only qualify at center. See, now the league is doing the front court, back court thing or whatever, or they're trying to take the best 4, like even in college All-America, right? They take the best 7 players regardless of position or something like that, right? So that's the difference. That's really the only point I'm making. And Duncan did have that advantage, being able to be a quote unquote center. And that's my argument, bro. That's my argument. He's a center who gets to qualify at a power forward position. So you're going against the center in basketball historically has been the superior player. That's why I have 5 centers in my top 10 and not Duncan. I have 5 centers, right? Hakeem, Wilt, Kareem, Bill, and Shaq. So centers have been pretty much half of the dominant players of the league. It was a Michael Jordan becoming the first shooting guard, right, to actually become a dominant player. There were no shooting guards who were top 10 before him, and then Kobe was the second shooting guard after. You know what I mean? So historically, it's either a point guard or a center. And those were the dominant players. The players that played in between, they were good, like Elgin and all that. Jerry West was a point guard. You know what I mean? But that's the deal. So that's kind of the argument I make with that. I know people don't like it, but it's fact. You get in, when you do it. Matter of fact, you didn't have all NBA. You didn't have all NBA defensive teams and stuff like that to 83. Some of those guys are not going to have that in their case. So I have to make the case of Hakeem not having all NBA defense by more than half his career. Only the last 6 years could he even win an all NBA defensive team, right? Because you have an all NBA defensive team until later on. There's no DPOY until 83 as well, something like that. So,
do you think you won the debate, and how do you think the debate went?
Well, I think the big one. I think I won slightly. I know I wasn't at my best. Like I'm just like Aircraft Carrier said, I'm debating like I had an Uber outside. But no, I was really trying to give it my best and really trying to get it in these 2 minutes. But there's so much on that. There's so much meat on that bone. And again, you're arguing a player that you know is great, and you have to I'm not going to sit here and act like Duncan was some bum, or Duncan wasn't a great player for 20 years, right? I don't debate like that. But then you have to justify 10 guys that you have, and I actually have 12 guys ahead of them. But you have to justify those 10 at least to just keep them out of the top 10, and that's what I do. What you got to do, right? And I had to say, okay, hey, this guy had to sacrifice. Business setting up. Well, he had to sacrifice and be a team player. Well, so did everyone else, and they all had success. Everybody has 4 rings at least, 5 rings, had 3 rings or whatever, right? But they did it in a, they did it in a way.
I don't think they had success when it comes like what Tim Duncan did. I felt like, the first round, I didn't know which the reason why my first round was shaky was because I didn't know I already had the structure that I wanted. I didn't know which one I wanted to use first. I felt like I won the last round because I think Roe was stopping and thinking too much. Miles was just pretty much just rolling.
Yeah, I would say
I pretty much give him the first round because the first round is just like, all right, I'm listening to accolades and stuff, and I felt
yeah,
like I was going to throw that out there first, and then I'll just come with like, he gave me stuff to rebut, so I feel like I
I
was going to
feel you.
rebut. But Herm, I'll be ready for you, Herm. I think with Herm, I'll probably need like a 4-minute round. You know what I mean? I feel like I can win this. I feel like I could persuade my argument with more time, but I feel like I did more. I know I left a lot out of there. I could have talked about the competition he went against the four kings, C Webb, Kevin Garnett, Dirk Nowitzki around that time, and how he lined up with that competition. But I feel like I convincingly won the second and third round, in my opinion, due to the structure. I felt like I was confident, Herm. I felt like the first round, yeah, a lot of stuttering, a lot of thinking and whatnot. But the last 2 rounds, I was just flowing. I felt like, yeah, bro, you left the door open for me, bro. You supposed to close the casket on that, bro.
You know what happened to you when you admitted it. It's funny. That's how it goes when it comes to this point when you set your time to talk. You admitted that the big men, like the dominant big men, the Shaq and all of them, the Hakeem and the Patrick Ewing and the Robinsons, like the center position has not been the same since that. And you admitted that when Duncan started his career, those guys were fading out, and it really hasn't been that type of dominant center since. Right, so the strength actually moved to the power forward, right? And I wanted to
That's
harp on
why
that
I thought that.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
Can I get my
everybody gave me
little
the second
piece real
round.
quick?
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Bro, what's good with y'all? Look, I listened to the debate. Now I ain't gonna take too long to talk. Now the first round, y'all, I kind of feel like y'all just kind of trying to set the table for y'all argument a little bit. Now, when the debate started, the debate started in the second round, right? That's when it really started. Now, in the second round, I think Dart brought it up that Roe rebuttal. He said something like, all my players sacrificed and blah, blah, blah. And they didn't do it exactly how he did because, like he said, he was the dominant guy. He translated and made an impact on championships in 3 different decades. It's guys in that top 10 who couldn't guard a shadow, like Magic Johnson, for example. So he didn't do that. So you automatically lost that round because you misrepresented your rebuttal. Like it was just a misrepresentation. And then when you get to the next round, Ro, you brought up some qualifiers as if like Viz was bringing up qualifiers that puts Duncan arguably in the top 10. He got impact in 3 different decades, defensive teams, the leader of the team. He was the dominant guy. He can score, rebound, defend. He got the blocks and all of that. So he's giving qualifiers that puts him up there in the upper echelon. So why he got to bring up other 4,000 people? Aaron McKee not in this conversation. Anthony Mason, he not in the conversation. It's only about 20 or 30 guys who could get in the room with this, right? So he don't got to bring up the other 4,000.
That's what I was thinking when I said that.
All of us.
Hold on, bro. Let me finish. All of us in this basketball community gonna have the same universal top 30 or 40 for the most part. Now, how it's scrambled around may be different, but we all gonna have the same 30, 40 niggas, right? So whether I agree Duncan is top 10 or not, he got the qualifiers to put him in there. He got 5 chips, finals MVP, regular season MVP. And then, Ro, you brought up he never averaged 25 and peak Robinson. That's not a qualifier not to be in the top 10. Because there's plenty of niggas who ain't, well, I ain't gonna say plenty. It's a couple guys who ain't averaged 25 that's in the top 10. So that's not a qualifier. So you got to come, hold on. So you need to come with a better argument to say like, well, Robinson, what do Robinson's peak, which Duncan didn't play through, what the hell that got to do with Tim Duncan not being top 10? Nothing at all. It don't got nothing to do with that, bro.
And I'll
so,
tell
like
you,
I said, so I'm about to wrap it up, bro. I'm not done, bro. I'm about to wrap it up. So the first round, like I said, y'all was setting the table. I ain't really judging. The second and third round, I'm fact checking. That's what I do. We gonna have perspectives. So if I hear shit that's factually incorrect or the shit not correlating, then you gonna lose the round. Whether I'm judging the argument. This ain't about whether I think Tim Duncan top 10 or not. And this is the last thing I'm gonna say. I'm gonna wrap it up right here. It's not a knock that he's not a top 5 center. He's top 10 in 2 positions. So that's really a boost because everybody can't do that.
You can argue a Jerry West is top 10 to two positions, maybe a James Harden, an Iverson, but it ain't too many people that played literally two positions for 8 years and damn near got a Hall of Fame career at two positions, bro. So that's not a knock to him. So I was like kind of thrown off, like you was trying to make knocks on him. That shit not really a knock, bro. It's not.
So what happens is, and again, this is what happens with me in this top 10 thing, which is why I hate to do it, but I'll do it because I'm Ro. I'm King Ro. I'll speak on what I speak on. You can tell me the Magic couldn't guard a traffic cone. He actually led the league in something defensively and statistically. Don't get that. And so like that, you know what I'm saying? You wind up with this having 10 one-on-one debates when I tell you the 10 guys. And that's the thing. And then you gotta try to fit 10 one-on-one debates in 2-minute rounds. It's damn near impossible, right? So I get all of the
That's
things.
why I said he got the qualifiers.
No,
it ain't about player for player.
Saying.
He got the qualifiers.
But again, like
his name.
It was plenty of different ways.
Magic got the qualifiers.
Bird
got him.
Again, as we know,
and I stop talking over each other.
Yeah, I got because I know we gotta be very versatile, Tom. You wind up with so many different angles. Like you said, bro, there's 30 to 40 dudes that's really in this GOAT discussion. And
no,
you
I
can
didn't say GOAT. No, I said that could be like in the top 10.
You know what I mean? Consensus top 30. And at some point, I can make a case where Garnett is better. Garnett is Duncan.
He's not ranked over Duncan, though. We all know that.
Oh, yeah, Garnett is Duncan, but he goes to the inferior organization. Where he goes to an organization where he doesn't have a first round.
Nobody got KG ranked over Duncan on the greatness list. Pound
That's
for pound, rolling the ball out. Garnett more talented rolling the ball out.
My argument for why KG is better. The greatness.
He's not greater. He's not a greater player because he doesn't have the
Switch. You got to talk. You got to talk in me. So I'm trying to explain my whole process of how I make these debates and why I got Duncan outside. Mind you, I don't have KG in the top 10 either. But that's what I'm saying. So this is what happens. It's like. Okay, put it this way: the guys that were doing this at a higher level than us, right? Gil's Arena, right? And I'm not here to glaze them, but they do have a good platform. They sat there and tried to name the top 10 basketball IQs of all time, right? So they were going around the couch, right? Rashad, Kenyon, all of them, whoever was there, Brandon, I don't know, I forget who was there, but they wound up naming 30 niggas for 10. You get what I'm saying? So if you wind up, you
don't have to name 4,000. That was my point that I made.
No, I get it. But that's also okay, right? 4,000 is a different.
It's only about 30 guys in this conversation. That was my point.
This is my point. Switch. Please let me talk. You wind
up though, but I made a point though. It was only you said 4,000, and I was saying it's only about 30 guys that's in the top.
I get it, but that's what I'm saying, right? And so you talk about this IQ conversation that they had. They named 30 guys with a mixed highly IQ, right? Because it was Joker, right? They said Joker is the top 10 IQ. And they said name 10 guys. Them niggas want to name 30 guys that, guess what? You were like, Draymond Green has an high IQ. Every guy they named was obviously a great high IQ. But the thing is, can you really say they top 10? You want to run a 30, and the way you look, depending on the way you look at the game.
You go through qualifiers.
That's what I'm saying, though. But you wind up naming 30 guys for 10 spots. And somebody you got to keep out. And this is what happens in the GOAT debate.
So why did y'all say 4,000?
Okay, because 5,000 people play in the NBA. That's the point.
If we all know basketball, everybody on here like 30 plus at least. And we all know it's going to be 20 to 30 guys, not 4,000. So why we got to waste time with all that rabbit hole shit?
That's what Dark said, judging.
Y'all both said that.
No, switch it. So switch. All right. If you're making an argument, you have to go, like you said, you have to make qualifiers. If you just say he won All NBA, you have to say he did this better than 10 guys. And if you're going to put a qualifier up one-on-one and you don't have a qualifier,
it doesn't have to be better.
It has to be more so. There has to be some sort of criteria to it.
Also,
so we got to bring up Rodney. So Rodney Rogers is in the conversation just because he played in the league. Is that what you're saying?
If you make an argument for it and you do a better argument versus Tim Duncan, then you're gonna win.
No, you not, man.
In a debate, yes.
Nah, bro.
Switch never said anything about 5,000. I said we have 80 years of basketball. 80 years of NBA basketball. So that means
and we all gonna have the same 30 guys in the universal top 10 for the most part, scrambled around some kind of way. Yes or no? Can everybody agree on that? Yes or no?
Yeah,
yes.
All right then.
What, there's a consensus top 30, right? But what, like I
not
said,
consensus is just gonna be scrambled around. We all gonna have the
I
same
get
kind of
it.
guys.
No, but I'm saying there's a consensus meaning these 30 guys are in there. Like you might have an outlier that comes in somebody.
Ain't nobody about to have Duncan outside no top 30, and ain't nobody about to have no Rodney Rogers in the top 30. So why we talking about Kenny
Switch, bro. If you're gonna be like you can be critical and then you can't take account of it.
No. You talking about critical? I'm just giving my input on the debate.
No, I get it. I'm not offended at all. This is just opinions, brother.
Well,
like
I'm talking basketball. What you mean?
You're right. At the end of the day, but like I said, if we gonna sit there and say, right, like I said, the IQ conversation. When they started naming,
I don't really care about them. They on the platform that they get paid to say dumb shit. Talk about what's going on right here, though. You keep talking about them clown niggas, though.
Okay,
them
look,
niggas clowns, though.
Look.
Talk about what's on this platform right here.
Okay. Well, I don't care how you feel about them.
Them niggas clowns, though. They get paid to say dumb shit.
Okay, cool.
Talk about what's going on right here.
Cool. I can do this again. Name the top 10 rebounders. If we went around this panel, we would name 30 niggas. And none of us would be wrong, Swish. That's the point. But you can only, if you want to make 10 and everything, we all agree.
No, we will be wrong because if a nigga would say, for example, I'm going to tell you how somebody would be wrong. If a nigga would say Rodman not top 10, that's just a basketball lie. It is.
You know he's 22nd in all-time rebounds, right?
I don't care. That's a basketball lie.
Saying? But wait.
That's your problem, bro.
What if I could tell you Chuck Robinson was a great rebounder too?
Because you ain't went through the process. Any nigga that say Dennis Rodman out of top 10, that's like if a nigga say, like, for example, right?
Like real talk.
That's like if a nigga say Kevin Durant not a top 10 scorer. That's a basketball lie.
So wait. If I tell you Kevin Durant was a top 10 rebounder, would I be wrong?
Now if a nigga say Kobe or Jordan not top 10 scorer, that's a basketball lie.
If I tell you Kevin Durant's a top 10 rebounder, would I be wrong?
I said scorer, bro.
But I'm just saying we could. But this is my point, Swish. We could do any angle of basketball.
You kind of can't though. Not with real, like no, you can't.
Okay, all right. I got you. We gonna disagree.
You can't, bro. You ain't about to sit up there and say Kevin Durant a top 10 rebounder and make an argument for it. That's dumb as fuck. You wasting breath. What are you talking about? So you can't just make an argument. If Rodney Rogers like no, bro, that's dumb as fuck, bro.
All right.
What are y'all talking about?
Swish, you got anything else to talk about, or?
I gave my opinion on the debate. I had Viz winning because the inaccuracies that Roe gave in them second and third rounds, bro.
You misheard me too. Because you thought I said 5,000. I never said 5,000.
We got the replay, y'all. We got the replay.
Bro.
We got the replay.
Got you.
You ain't gotta not like what I said, bro.
No, it's cool. No. But you get to talk uninterrupted for 5 minutes, and then when I rebut,
you just talk 5 minutes after what's the name debate.
I honestly don't care enough about this.
All right, then, nigga. So why you talking about how long I talked?
Okay, bro. Seriously.
All right, then. My energy I just don't talk soft and sensitive like you niggas, bro.
Don't misquote me.
I just don't talk soft.
Don't misquote me because I never said anything about 5,000 players.
I said 4,000. You and Dart both brought up the history of the game. Am I right or wrong? And then Dart put emphasis on your point when he gave his shit on the debate. Yes or no, Dart?
Guys, we're going in circles here.
Yes or no, Dart? Did you bring up 4,000 people? That Roe also brought up that point. Yes or no? The history of the game.
Swish, I did, but we're done with this.
All right, then. Okay, I know I wasn't tripping. Nigga want to make it seem like you just making shit up.
Anyway.
All right.
You know what I do to you. You know what I do to you, Ro. I make you uncomfortable, nigga. I make you uncomfortable, and then you play victim when I'm only talking basketball. I only talk basketball, and then y'all play victim. I make you uncomfortable. I get
Okay. No, you don't, bro. You don't make me uncomfortable. You try to dominate.
I'm out of here, bro.
You whine like a bitch.
I gave what I had to say on the debate.
Guys, I don't want to do this with y'all platform, bro.
You lied, bro. You
know where mine is.
You said them niggas sacrificed 3 different decades.
You
that was a lie.
Come through.
Man,
welcome to come through. You play by rules. It's all good. Anyway,
Herm, I know you were trying to say something.
This is bro.
Well, you gotta take notes for me, man. I'm the ultimate Tim Duncan cooker. I guess I'm at the show Viz. You know how it is to go against somebody that truly knows how to cook Tim Duncan and put him on the grill.
All
So
right, we
I'm
gonna make
willing
sure
to
Tim Duncan stay in that pack and not get cooked. That's all.
I'm willing to
We
have
gonna
my
stay
debate
frozen. Yeah.
discussion style because again, I don't like when people misquote me and mishear me. I said 80 years of basketball. That's
Bro, the
what we
footage
judge
right
the
there,
GOAT.
bro. I'm gonna watch this all over, learn from it, and we
Yeah,
gonna, you know what I mean?
and I
I
think
think
that was the thing. I think
I didn't know I felt like I did good the last 2 rounds, but I feel like also just like a starter pack round was pretty cool. So I like how I structured it. Come out with
I
defense one
accept the
round.
draw. Yeah, I accept the draw, man. You know you my guy, Viz. You know again I
Yeah, that's
debate, but
fine. For sure. Hell yeah.
this ain't that it ain't that crazy to me. Like I said, cats can't if they'll you know what you learn? Cats will hear what they wanted to hear and they'll hear how you made them feel based on what you actually said. And again, you get misquoted, and then you try to, let me finish. And then I sit there and I really kind of explain where I was going with it to unpack it. Cats still can't hear. It's all good. Like I said, if we take the 30 best passes, like if I brought that up, right, and we went around the panel, we would name 30 great passes because it's been 80 years. You think it's only been 10 good passers? You see what I'm saying?
Y'all got this. Is what we got judges for. Some
We would
people look for
name
what they look
30. We
for.
would
Trav
name
look what he
30
look for.
guys
Dart look what he
between the
look for.
5 of us, right? We would name 30 guys between the 5 of us, and we wouldn't really be. None of us would really be wrong. So that's the point. It's like you can, but then you have to actually narrow it down to 10. That's why having these discussions is very, very hard. You understand what I'm saying?
Man, Dart and Herm threw your bone, man. They could have gave me that last round. That last round, I felt like was my strongest round.
Hey, listen, man. It is what it is, bro.
Dart and Herm, y'all could have gave me that last round. I'm about to put a lawsuit on y'all. I'm about to start getting some channels reported.
Thanks.
Via who style.
Oh,
I don't like that.
I didn't give it
I
to
don't
you
like that. I
because
felt like the last round was my strongest round. Motherfuckers didn't give me that.
I felt you were repeating yourself at that time. And
I felt like earlier in the third round I did, but I thought I finished it strong just to round it off. But yeah, I ain't mad at it. Yeah, we gotta do this again though, fellas. I appreciate it, bro. We gonna lock in on something. And Herm, it ain't about Herm, hold on, Herm. It ain't about if you cooking or not. It's about persuading the audience and persuading the judges, brother.
Making the argument. That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
bro.
so you can cook Tim Duncan. You could cook Tim Duncan all you want. If my arguments sound better than yours, which I heard you debate, I feel like if I bring my style, then I'm bringing with more time allowed.
Bitch, I
don't know, brother.
Style. I got more than one way of coming at niggas though.
Hey, brother, it's all about conviction, brother. You got the conviction.
I mean,
you make your case.
I'll tell you this. I'll say this. Hold on, just for programming notes.
How you perform right here? You better not perform.
Hey, I'll tell y'all this for programming notes. Anybody want to smoke on any discussion debate? King's Speech Road. I can click go. I can click go live anytime. Let me know.
Man, Scottie Pippen in the 90s. Scottie Pippen in the 90s.
Top 5. Hey, yeah. Oh, hey, is that true? Are you having Herm, I just got a real question. Are you doing a show with so and so? Are you doing a first take type show with so and so? Because that's what he said in the comments, but I don't know if he was joking or actually telling the truth.
I may entertain the shit, man. Y'all will see, man.
Hey, do it. Cook that. Hey, cook him on it to get a chance to cook.
He's not debating. He's scared to debate Herm. If I come out the gate and debate Herm before he do,
a back and forth show. Cook that man on a daily basis. Oh, that would be great, bro. Herm would just listen, man. We could. Damn, Hood Take is already taken, right? We could call. What can we call it?
Streets, man.
Yeah, Hood Take.
All right.
Scottie Pippen in the 90s. Scottie Pippen in the 90s.
I think we're gonna probably call it here, guys. We're gonna get ready for some.
All right, fellas. I gotta take care of it, man. I appreciate y'all guys.
Son, man.
Yeah, fantastic debates all around, guys. From Viz, Rowe, obviously Dart with the victory, and I think was that a tie or did we get that to Rowe? Well,
It was a tie. I accept the tie. This was a sparring session, brother. Trust me.
Listen, man. Rowe getting the tie. That's an L for Rowe. Nope. Yeah, that's an L in my book. Okay. No three round sweep L. So I'm about to brag and boast right now.
Y'all know where to find me.
All right, fellas, I'll take care. I'm out of here.
Yeah, but
All
hey,
right.
we're getting more people involved, which is great. We're gonna have some more in the future, probably next weekend. Who knows? We're gonna mix it up with her, myself, Dart. Who knows? We'll figure it out, but we'll for sure gonna have some more debates for you guys next weekend. Absolutely, as we continue to build our brand, build our structure, build diversity in topics as well. And look out tomorrow when we come at you with another episode of Debunked as well, and we'll figure out the topic. Okay. But final words, Dart, before we get out of here.
I'm just gonna get bigger and bigger. Meet a bunch of fish in the sea. Get some great information. Kill whales. Dominate the landscape of the sea of this basketball discourse, and do some tricks for the people. But thanks for the debate, Travis. I thought it was great. I felt like I knocked off some of that rust. I still feel like I have some on, but I feel like I performed a lot better in the first one, and yeah, I thought you did well as well. So thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and
thank you, Herm, for judging.
Yeah, Herm, thank you so much for judging, and obviously we'll probably see you on the debate scene next week. Probably set that up, and otherwise, again, thank you everyone for joining us here for another episode of Lights Out Debates. And again, we dare all of you to debate. We really do, and we want all the smoke all the time. Win, lose, or draw. Okay, so with that being said, everyone else have a fantastic Saturday. Go Seahawks, and we'll talk to you guys later.